You're listening to Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. Our show provides listeners with an insider perspective of Texas A&M athletics and its greatest supporters. This podcast will bring you exclusive interviews with coaches, athletes, donors, and the dedicated staff of Aggie Athletics and the 12th Man Foundation. You ready? Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. I'm your host, Ivy Robinson, and today I'm joined by Texas A&M football offensive lineman Trey Zuhn III. Trey, thank you so much for being here and coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you. And Trey, we're going to do something fun, a little different to start off this episode, okay? So we're going to try something new here. So I have a list of rapid fire questions that I'm going to time. Let's see. I'm going to start my phone really quick. We're going to go 60 seconds rapid fire questions, and we're going to see how many we can get through, okay, in 60 seconds, all right?
Oh, dear.
So
all
let's
right.
see. Timer. Let's see. Okay. Vacation or staycation?
Staycation.
Board games or video games?
Video games.
Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Maroon uniforms or black uniforms?
Gotta go maroon.
Lanes or canes?
I'm a big Canes fan.
Books or movies?
Movies for sure.
Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird recently, yep.
Pancakes or waffles?
I actually don't like either, so I can't even answer that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so skip on that.
Skip.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Big city or small town?
Small town.
Ketchup or ranch?
Ketchup.
Deadlifts or squats?
Squat.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Pop music or rock music?
Pop.
Country music or rap music?
Rap music.
Road trip or plane trip?
Road trip.
Burgers or hot dogs?
Burgers.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Spring or fall?
Fall.
Oh, and time is up. Man, that was good.
All right.
So not a pancakes or waffles guy.
Yep, never have been.
So like not a breakfast person either?
Actually, I'm not a fan of breakfast foods. I'll take spaghetti for breakfast any day I can.
Spaghetti for breakfast. Okay,
Yep.
so that's the breakfast of champions.
100%, yep.
Well, thanks for playing rapid fire questions with me.
Of course, yeah.
All right, Trey. So first question for you to start off this episode. Can you tell our listeners about your background and where you're from?
I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado. Both my parents and my grandma were Aggies here, so I'm a third-generation Aggie. So that's one of the bigger reasons that I came here. Yeah, I've got an older sister, and yeah, I grew up in Fort Collins.
Very cool. What did you like about Fort Collins?
I love the weather there. Can't beat the weather.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all 4 seasons, and it's just beautiful 95% of the time.
Like you actually have a fall and a spring, and it's not like blazing hot
Yeah,
in the
never
summers.
hot like down here, so.
Man, growing up, what were you involved in? How did you first start playing sports?
Yeah, so I played soccer when I was really young, but didn't really get behind that. It wasn't really my thing. Tried out baseball, but got too bored just standing out in the outfield. Nothing really ever happened. So kind of played basketball and football growing up. Started football in 3rd grade. My dad was the coach. I almost quit my first year, actually, because I was bigger than everybody. So they put me on the O-line, which is kind of funny now. So I just didn't really know what I was doing, wasn't really having a fun time. But I was much better the second year, and so thankfully that worked out. And now, it's kind of funny, I'm offensive lineman here now, so.
That's pretty neat. So you weren't a fan when you first
Was not
started.
a fan at first, but yeah, grew to love it.
What position did you want to play when you were younger?
I always loved defense, and I always wanted to touch the ball, so I played tight end and defensive end for a while, but then I realized the best position on the field is the O-line, so.
Okay, so you started playing O-line in 3rd grade, and you just stayed in that position?
Yeah, I moved to tight end for a little bit, played some defensive end, but then, yeah, freshman year of high school, that's when there was an opportunity for me to play varsity as a freshman because there wasn't really anyone else. So I started playing left tackle as a freshman for varsity, and ever since then I've always played left tackle.
What was it like coming in and playing varsity as a freshman?
It was a little bit scary, but the offensive linemen there took me in under their wing and kind of told me it's okay. You know, you're a freshman, but now you're on varsity, so you kind of got to pull your weight, and it was just a cool brotherhood there.
Yeah.
They accepted me, yeah.
Were there any coaches you had in high school that were really instrumental in your development and progression to where you are today?
Yeah, Matt McChesney, he actually has a gym down in Denver, and I would go work out with him every other day before school. And that was really the only way that I ever kind of learned how to be an O lineman and got recruited, so I kind of owe it all to him.
I also know you were a multi-sport athlete in high school. You participated in shot put. Was that a significant part of your high school experience?
Not really. It was just kind of what we did in the off season as offensive linemen to kind of keep working out. So I didn't take it super seriously. Like I definitely tried, but it wasn't my main thing. But then yeah, I played basketball too up until my freshman year. So
What did you like about basketball?
I actually originally wanted to be a basketball player growing up. I don't know, it just was more fun, got to score, but I realized football is really my true calling, so kind of stuck with that.
Can you pinpoint the moment you decided football was the way to go for you?
Yeah, it was after my freshman year playing basketball, I realized I couldn't keep the weight on playing basketball and being an offensive lineman. And I realized I had a better future playing offensive line, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
Did anyone encourage you to start playing sports, or did you have, family members or siblings who played sports?
Yeah, my sister played volleyball at Nebraska, so she was kind of a role model for me, kind of growing up, seeing her go through the whole college process. So that was really cool. So yeah, I always looked up to her, but yeah, me and my sister, we always like kind of just played outside, messed around every single day growing up. So we always just kind of had sports in our life. So just kind of always stuck with it.
Is she the only sibling?
Yep, she's
So
older. Yeah, only
are y'all
one.
pretty close?
We're very close. Yeah.
That's awesome. If you could pick one thing about yourself that you think not many people would expect or know, what would it be?
One thing that I always get crap for is like my acute pain tolerance, like needles and stuff like that, and scratches, hangnails. I cannot tolerate whatsoever. I'd rather get hit by a baseball bat than take a needle.
That that is funny. But yeah, I don't do needles either.
Yeah.
I like shots. Mm-mm.
Like yeah, for me, hangnails like on my fingernails, I cannot stand that.
Big pet peeve.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to high school and when you were thinking about football and playing in college, did you always have your sights on Texas A&M? Was that always the goal, or did you keep your options open and explore other opportunities?
Having most of my family go to A&M, it was always kind of the number one place, but I kind of kept my options open at the beginning of recruiting because I didn't really know if I would be good enough to play in the SEC and play for A&M. So, yeah, I kind of kept my options open, but then once I got the offer from A&M, it was kind of a no-brainer. I was coming here.
Do you have any memories being a third generation Aggie from your childhood of like learning about Texas A&M or coming here to some games? Does anything stand out to you?
Yeah, because my grandpa, my grandma, and I've got an aunt that lives here in town, so we would always come to College Station growing up, like during vacation, and we'd come hang out here and just, yeah, kind of learning the Aggie culture. And I remember every Saturday during the season, my dad watching the game on TV, and we'd always have wings.
Wings and Aggie football. What more could you need
doesn't get better than that.
on
Yeah.
a Saturday, right? That's pretty good. So you came into Texas A&M like singing the war hymn and pretty much ready to go.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah. What have you valued the most about Coach Elko and his coaching style and how he's really transformed the football program?
I would say probably how dedicated he is to the culture of the team and building the culture over anything, and just teaching us that what the culture should look like and demanding it out of us, and just teaching us what it's like to be a winning program. Coming in here, he demanded that people were on time to meetings, on time to class, not missing anything. Just going back to that discipline of just incorporating that into the culture and making sure that's who we are as a team.
Mm-hmm. Did you set any specific goals for yourself coming into this season? And if so, have you seen yourself progressing towards those goals?
Yeah, I'd say so. I say that going into the season, I just wanted every single game to be my best game going forward. So every week I wanted to improve on something, learn from the film, learn from the defense that played previously, and just improve every single week.
Student athlete resources here at Texas A&M, they're, as we both know, they're second to none. Have there been any student athlete resources that have significantly impacted your success or really helped you grow as a person here at Texas A&M?
Yeah, definitely like our mentors and our tutoring and our learning center, all of them have done so much, through my time here at A&M to help me stay on track, manage my time, everything, stay on top of school because, you're a student first when you're a student athlete. So,
Hmm.
yeah, they've helped a ton.
What is your major?
Finance.
Why did you pick finance?
Uh, Growing up, math was always kind of my favorite subject, and I was always good at it. So I thought, it'd be a good thing to go into, and that can help me after football because football ends one day, whether you like it or not. So you got to have something to do with the rest of your life. So
Hmm. Have you had like a favorite class or subject that you studied within finance?
right now, I'm taking a real estate class that's really interesting. So I'm thinking about maybe going down that path, or we'll see. So yeah.
There you go. So that first year as a freshman when you came into Texas A&M, were there any specific resources that helped with your transition coming from high school to college?
I would say just having that academic advisor, like kind of holding your hand through the entire process. Like I remember
Hmm.
that first semester, they would just be at every single appointment with you, making sure you're on time. If you have any questions, they're there for you, just like an open resource. Any questions
Hmm.
you have, any problems you have, they're more than happy to help, which is was fantastic for me my freshman year. So
Yeah. For our listeners who may not know or be aware, can you just kind of detail out the process of what it looks like to work with an academic advisor one-on-one coming in, what the schedule's like, what they sit down and help you with?
yeah, so they'll sit down with you. They'll make sure your class schedule's put together. For me, they walked me to my first classes to show me where to go. They'll make sure you can sit down with them and talk about anything really, but they'll help you with your weekly schedule, all your assignments, making sure you're doing them ahead of time, not waiting for the last minute because I'm a bit of a procrastinator, but
Mm,
I never had a problem turning anything in. So, but yeah, they're just there for anything you need.
that's great. And I'm sure that's just super beneficial when the season gets busy and
Right.
things get hectic. Yeah. Trey, what are your goals and plans beyond college, beyond your time at Texas A&M?
My plan is to go to the NFL, and I know football will end in the NFL one day. So yeah, go into real estate or something with finance after that.
Hmm. Any specific NFL team you would just love to play for if you had the opportunity?
Whoever's willing to take me, or first of all, is the correct answer. But my dad and family were always Cowboys fans growing up, so that'd be kind of cool to play for them.
Nice. They need some help this year,
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
But it's America's team,
right.
right? I'm a Cowboys fan. So let's talk a little bit about your performance, over the seasons here at Texas A&M. So as a sophomore, you started all 13 games and you were one of two offensive linemen to start each game. Now as a junior this year, you've continued to start each game and you were also voted a team captain along with Torian York. So how has it felt being able to solidify yourself as a leader and a major contributor on this football team?
Yeah, it was such an honor to be, seen as a team captain on this team and voted as a team captain. But I really had to grow into that leadership role throughout the offseason and through this season because I always wanted to make sure I led by example, but I haven't always been the most vocal leader. So growing into that vocal leader role and kind of picking people up and talking to them in the locker room, people I might not even interact with that much on the field, just talking to them in the locker room, making sure everyone's all right and on the same page and we're moving towards the same goal. So I had to grow into that, but yeah, it's
Hmm.
just been an honor.
How do you think you kind of evolved into that vocal leader and what was hard for you to overcome to like get to that point?
I've always been a perfectionist, so I always thought if I made a mistake, I couldn't call someone else out on their mistake. So I always had a problem with that, but then I realized, kind of being an older guy on the team, it doesn't matter if you're perfect. You need to do what's best for the team, and you got to put your feelings aside. So,
Yeah, man, that's good. And I'm sure like finally realizing that hey, there are younger guys on this team that are like looking to me as a veteran on the team that
right.
it's time for me to step up and push the perfectionist thoughts aside, but to start leading in that way. So that's awesome. How do you think your fellow teammates or even your fellow offensive linemen would describe you?
They probably describe me a little bit as a perfectionist, and I'm never satisfied because you can have a great game and then you make one mistake, and that's just not good enough for me. So sometimes I feel like I hold the standard a little bit too high, and But I think that's a good thing at the end of the day. So
Hmm. It's always good to have goals and hold yourself accountable.
right,
Like when you're self-motivated, I feel like you already have a leg up on a lot of other people if you're really, really motivated and already have a high standard set for yourself.
right.
How do you push back? Maybe you have a hard week in practice or something happens in a game. How do you get past those mistakes or moments where you feel like you didn't perform your best? What do you reinforce to yourself mentally to keep pushing forward?
Well, I just tell myself that my opponent is on scholarship too, and they're going to make some plays sometimes, but I'm not going to get beat by that same, move that they did or same scheme again. So I'm going to learn from it and use it as something to learn from.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you have any pregame rituals or routines to help get you motivated and in the right mindset for game days?
When I'm taping my fingers before going out on the field, I always put my earbuds in, but I don't listen to anything. I just have silence and kind of just have a moment to kind of collect my thoughts, get my thoughts straight, and kind of have a chance to block out all the outside noise and thoughts and just get ready to play.
So you appreciate the silence and those like moments of peace before.
Right, yeah. Calm before the storm.
And what is it like running down the main tunnel on game days?
There's, no feeling like
Do
it.
y'all all just get like chills
I
every
get,
single time?
goosebumps every single time I walk down that and run down that. So, yeah, it's never gotten old, and I don't think it ever will.
Trey, what do you think motivates you to work hard and kind of going back to your standard of excellence you hold and have for yourself? Where do you think that motivation and that drive comes from?
I think growing up, my parents had really high expectations and didn't settle for anything less than the best out of me and my sister. So, kind of growing up, we kind of had that drilled into us. But also, I just realize every time you step on the field, it could be your last, because of injuries. We've seen lots of injuries. So, you never want to take a play for granted, even in practice. So, I just, give 100% every single day.
Yeah. The mental toughness it takes to step out there and give 110% every play, knowing in the back of your mind, I mean, there could be an injury. Like you have to show discipline and the mental toughness, I'm sure, and just
Right.
not think about that.
Right. Yeah, you just got to play hard. You can't play scared or else,
I guess that's when injury happens.
that's
When you
when
play
injuries
scared.
happen. And, you don't want your last play on the football field to be going 90%, 80%. You want to, leave the field satisfied if you are leaving it for the last time.
Mm. Okay, so you were a part of SEC Media Days this year. Tell us about that experience and what your biggest takeaway was from it.
It was a awesome opportunity and really cool. And I definitely learned a lot and grew from it because public speaking and interviews are not really my strong suit, not my favorite thing to do, but it was definitely an opportunity to learn and get better at that. So thankful that I was able to do that.
Yeah. Can you share your perspective on the opportunity to profit from your name, image, and likeness now that we are living in this new era of college athletics? How do you think NIL has personally impacted your life?
It's made such a huge difference, being able to capitalize on that and able to, earn from my name, image, and likeness. Like you said, it's been such an opportunity for me and my family to have that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Do you think you're learning any life skills through NIL deals or things, I mean, that you'll take with you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, money management, taxes. Kind of learned what that's about. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of important to know about going through life. But yeah, as a finance major, I kind of already had some idea of what to do with my money, but it's definitely been cool to have the opportunity.
Looking at it from a different perspective, kind of a different lens, I'm
Right.
sure. Have you seen NIL impact any of your teammates in unique ways?
Yeah, I think almost everyone on the team has been impacted greatly by NIL. So that's been a great opportunity for them to be able to, help out families. Everyone has different family situations,
Mm-hmm.
so I know it helps a lot for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So kind of staying on the topic of support and opportunities, the 12th man and our donors and season ticket holders at Texas A&M, their level of support is just unmatched.
Right.
I think it's known nationwide how loyal our fans are, how generous they are. So for you personally, Trey, how would you describe their level of support and the impact that they have on you in game days at Texas A&M.
None of this would be possible without them. So all these great facilities that we have to get better every single day and improve our craft, it's all because of them. So none of this would happen without them. So I'm just so thankful.
Mm-hmm. As a 1922 Fund Scholarship recipient, Trey, how have you benefited from getting to connect with 12 Man Foundation donors through that opportunity, and why are you thankful for donors who provide scholarship opportunities?
Providing those opportunities it's amazing. It helps out so many people. It's helped out me, and just getting to reconnect with those donors at dinners, lunches, whenever we can. It's just an honor to get to thank them and sit down with them and just talk with them and just learn from them, because, you know, they're going through life and they're just an extra mentor to have with us on our team.
Mm-hmm. And last question for you today, Trey. Why are you proud to be an Aggie and represent this university as a student athlete?
I would say that I'm proud to be an Aggie because, you know, you walk around, even in Fort Collins, Colorado, I'd see people with Aggie rings on, and you just know the type of character that they are. Growing up as a third-generation Aggie, I might have a little bit more knowledge about it, but just everyone you see with an Aggie ring on is just the type of person you would want to be in business with, be a friend, be family. So it's just cool to be a part of that.
Couldn't agree more. Trey Zuhn III on Answering the Call podcast. Trey, thank you again for being here today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12 Man Foundation. A special shout out to our incredible podcast producer, Megan Hoffman, and to 12 Man Productions for their generous use of the studio. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to every donor and every season ticket holder for always answering the call through loyal support of Texas A&M athletics and our student athletes. We will be back soon with more content. Thanks, and gig 'em.